Okay, it's time for the GoddessKRING. Second ciclo consider tuku tipuko si la cancer la kutukutukutuko si la go rotuko. Woo! Snap, crackle, pop. It's time for the GoddessKRING. Bada boo, bada bing. I am in my wild animal print outfit from head to toe. This is GoddessKRING, and it is, what is it, December 18th, 2023. Delicious sparkling water. I'm going to peel the layers of the onion. Peel the layers of the onion. Peel the layers of the onion of a human. Rhinestones. These are opals. These are fake opals that I love so much. I glued these all over my car, and then I realized, hey, wait a minute, I can start gluing them on my jewelry. And so I found this necklace at the thrift store really inexpensively, and I just glued these on. And I am, white balance, and I am wearing my animal print top and bottom. Peeling back the layer of the onion would be the bodysuit of the GoddessKRING. I did a public access Seattle TV show for 15 years called GoddessKRING, where I would move around in my natural human form with just body paint on and nothing else. And this is my kind of new way of being able to be a decorated artistic torso human, but still have fabric on so that I'm allowed to actually share my artistic shapes everywhere. So, but today I feel like wearing my animal prints. So I'm going to sit and talk about what's happening in my life right now. I got asked to be interviewed. I am really grateful. I'm a little chaotic. I'm very busy. And I'm not a perfectionist, but I want to be careful to not go too far in the other direction of being a perfectionist is to not have high enough standards. So I am really grateful and excited that I'm working on music with Dave Flowers from Interactive Jack Records. And I think that there is going to be a profile done about Shannon Kringen, aka GoddessKRING, multimedia artist, experimental improvisational human, by Seattle Magazine. I am going to be interviewed for that, hopefully very soon. So I'll let you know the details when I know them for sure. And then I was interviewed for Everett Herald. The problem is I don't want to get caught up in I can't help but admit that I find it exciting and fun to be interviewed, to have somebody interested enough in my art to want to interview me and talk about my art car and my video, my music, whatever projects I'm doing. Because I had my Seattle Public Access TV show for 15 years, and I recently am starting to revisit the videos because I have kind of this weird self-esteem where it's kind of low and high at the same time. I actually just watched an interview with an actor yesterday who doesn't watch his own movies. And I think that I understand that if you get too self-conscious, if you're an artist and you get too self-conscious about what you're doing and you judge it, then you can become crippled, I like to say crippled in ripples of fear. Narcissistic deer steer clear of the mirror. rippled, crippled in ripples of fear, narcissistic deer steer clear of the mirror, meaning it is good to be self-aware. Like it is good to be, I can't get my posture right here. I have to sit up straight. Sit up straight, lady. Okay. I am Shannon Kringen, and it's good to be self-aware. But if you're so self-conscious, like I'm concerned that the lighting isn't the best, my skin doesn't look the best, but it's like, whatever, here I am. I'm 55 years old. So what is my skin supposed to look like? It's supposed to look like what it looks like. So I'm just going to let it be. So I don't want to be so self-conscious that I'm here, I am looking at the camera, I'm looking and trying to get the best angle, but I just want to share that I'm excited that I'm working on art. See, there's the making of the art, and then there's the promoting of the art. And if you make art and nobody sees it, then it's a bummer. So when somebody asks to photograph or interview you about your art, especially because I drive around, my art car is called Opal Moonstone. It's a Honda Fit with rhinestones like glued all over it, like really like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of very, very sparkly rhinestones. And I love my car. It makes me happy. It makes me think of supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, oompa loompa boopity doo. It's kind of a magical, it's like a dream manifester. It's like my car is a celebration of life. I call it Opal Moonstone because I love moonstones and opals. You know, opals are the glowy green and blue and opaly kind of things. Opal moonstone is kind of like a celebration of life. And so I recently put it out there because I'm so excited for the fantasy agates and mattress people and their success with their movie, which is called Fantasy Agates and Mattress. And I'm excited for them. And I was involved in a public service announcement that they did at the Beacon Cinema. That's a whole nother story. But I'm thinking about all the synchronicity in my life, about how I've had travel opportunities and I've manifested, like I did my TV show on public access as a way of reaching out to the public, as a way of amplifying my voice, as a way of experimenting to see how I affect the audience and how the audience affects me, to see what kind of ripple effect I could create. And sometimes you create a negative ripple effect. I have expressed fear and anger and negativity, and it has had a boomerang effect on me that was negative. But I will say mostly, I think I've created a positive effect. And so right now I'm surfing the waves of synchronicity in terms of getting interviewed by Seattle Magazine and the Everett Herald in a column called What's Up With That about my art car. When I was on Whidbey Island on my mother's birthday, I grew up, I was born in San Diego, but my mom and I moved to Whidbey Island when I was 10. And I went to high school in Whidbey Island, South Whidbey High School. And I was there celebrating my mom's birthday. And my art car was parked in the parking lot of the Star Store in Langley on Whidbey Island. And a journalist from the Everett Herald happened to be there and saw my car and saw all these people gathered around taking pictures of my car and looking excited. And so she left me a note on my car, or did she? Oh, no, she QR code I have a QR code on my car for my Instagram. And she said, "Are you around? I'm a journalist." I think she said that she was a journalist, but I don't know. I found out she was a journalist. I said, "Hey, would you like to interview me?" And she said, "Well, yes, I would actually." And I live in Seattle, but she had to tie it to Whidbey Island and Everett and was it Snohomish County? I'm not sure what county it is, but since I grew up and went to high school on Whidbey Island and I go to the Linwood Artesian Well to get water, I am connected and hooked in. I also drive all the way to Bellingham, Washington to be an art model. I am an art model for people. I think I'm inspired by that comedian on Instagram that everything she does is a movement and a dance. I'm inspired by her. And Matthew Silver from New York City. So GoddessKRING is a very creative film. I'm inspired by those people, but I like to move around, but I'm also very much inspired by Mick Jagger. So um, I I was happy to be interviewed by the Everett Herald about art modeling, and my life is complicated. Okay, I live by myself. I never got married. I never had kids. I'm 55 years old. I'm dating somebody, but I've never really thought I wanted to get married or have kids or anything like that. Maybe I thought, well, never mind. I don't want to talk about that. But let's just say that I make a living as a full-time freelance. I'm an art model, a dog walker, a pet sitter, a medical standardized patient. I am a physical medical model for students practicing doing breast and gyne exams, and also checking vital signs, eye, ears, nose, throat, um, head to toe exams. Students need to practice on actors. We were sort of actors pretending to be patients, and they practice working with us, and then we give them feedback before they go work with real patients. And so it's good for them to be trained in this way. And so I've learned about my body doing this. I've learned about where all my glands are, and I know my heart rate. I know my blood pressure. I know it's just interesting to learn about that. I'm interested. And the actor that I listened to, Adam Driver, the actor who was in Star Wars and the Spike Lee film about the Klan and all kinds of interesting movies. I forgot all the names of all the other movies he's been in, but I love a lot of his art and his acting. He went to the Juilliard uh, School of Acting, or Juilliard, whatever it's called. I auditioned and got into Cornish here in Seattle way back in the early 90s, but I got scared. I'm a bit shy. I found out my grandfather moved to Southern California. He was a farmer in North or South Dakota. Then he moved to Southern California to pursue some Hollywood ambitions. I think he secretly wanted to be an actor. He tried to push my dad into acting and modeling. My dad got to be photographed by Peter Gowland, which is a famous Hollywood photographer. I'm telling you this because my family has all kinds of like people in my family that were trying to sort of pursue their dreams of doing music or acting, but they didn't really do it. My dad has written folk music and comedy, but he's never actually performed it. So the reason why I did my GoddessKRING show was because I'm crippled by shyness. I've always been a little bit shy, but always wanted to share. And so I'm sharing this with you to say that I am continuing to experiment with what I can manifest. What can I manifest as a human who is a little bit shy and yet a little bit musical? I'm working on music with Dave Flowers. We're doing the GoddessKRING album. He has Interactive Jack Records, his own record label company, freelance thing that he does with music. A friend of his in California and him collaborate and make music. He also produces other people, Interactive Jack Records and Dave Flowers. He creates his own music and he helps produce other people's music. He's very, very musical. He loves Prince as much as I love Tom Petty. And so the video of Tom Petty and Prince together on stage is magical because again, he loves Prince as much as I love Tom Petty. I say, Tom Petty widens my jetty. And so I am having an interesting time doing all of my freelance work, which is pet sitting, dog walking, art modeling, medical modeling, standardized patient modeling, acting roles, being interviewed by Seattle Magazine, or they said they want to do a profile on me. I'm very excited about that. And so hopefully that will happen. The interview has been scheduled soon from now. I'm going to be interviewed, and maybe I don't know if I'll be photographed for it or just interviewed. I think we're going to do, because we're both so busy, we're going to do a phone interview. And he said he would love to see my art car. So maybe there will be a photograph of me in addition to that. what was I going to say? I'm losing my train of thought, but I'm a little bit OCD and a little bit ADHD and a little bit autistic, a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll. I'm a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock and roll. So I'm a little bit autistic, a little bit OCD, a little bit ADHD. I know people throw these labels around. Let's just say that I am very creative, but a bit disorganized in my own mind. And so I've got to write everything down in my little paper book to keep everything straight with my schedule. You would think somebody like me would actually do better if I had a normal, regular schedule, because part of me craves more order. But my life tends to be chaotic, and it tends to be the freelance, creative, improvisational person. That's what I was going to say. Improv. My style seems to be improvisational. Everything I do is improv. I got into art modeling sort of accidentally, just kind of fell into it, made it up as I went. I sort of taught myself photography. I sort of taught myself, I took some piano lessons, but mostly I improvise. I took dance classes as a kid. I like I've taken some poetry workshops. I've taken acting classes in poetry and piano and visual art, design, drawing, painting, graphic design. I've taken a lot of those kind of classes, but really, and printmaking and silk screening. But really, I love to improvise. And so I guess it's good to have a few skills that you're taught, but then you just make it up as you go. Like I took dance classes and I was never really particularly good. I think that's where my dyslexia comes in. When you're in a dance class and you're all standing in front of the huge mirror on the wall and you're supposed to in unison do all the dance steps, I tended to do it backwards. I was like, oh, I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way. I'm trying to like be in unison with all the other dancers. And whenever they would say, okay, instead of doing the dance that we all memorized, now you can make up your own dance. And some of the kids in the class were like, oh, they weren't not comfortable making up their own dance. So there are some of us who love to improvise, and I'm one of those people. Like if I was a musician, I would probably be a jazz improv musician, like an improv. I know that jazz is not entirely improvised, but there's lots of room for improv in jazz. Like you play the certain chords and notes and the, what do you call it? The key of G or the key of D, the key of A, or whatever the key is. E flat, we're doing E flat, or F sharp or whatever it is. And then you can jam out with the other musicians and you just improvise. And my grandfather on my dad's side promoted jazz musicians in Southern California, in Burbank and Huntington Beach, California. My dad went to Burbank High School in Southern California. And so my grandfather, instead of becoming an actor or a musician, because he played the sax and my grandmother played the piano, but they weren't, I don't think either one of them were good enough to be full-time professional musicians. They were just sort of loved music and they were good at it, but they weren't like amazing professional, play music 8 hours a day kind of people. So my grandfather ended up promoting jazz musicians who were more successful than he was with music, and he promoted them and he sold used cars apparently. But my dad said he kind of secretly wanted to be an actor, and there's some pictures I have of my grandfather where he's looking very theatrical. He looked a little bit like Spencer Tracy, the actor Spencer Tracy, and he looked very playful and gregarious and flirtatious in these photos from the 1950s. I think was the era that my grandfather was in Hollywood in the 40s or 50s. So it's interesting to note that because I feel like I'm carrying the torch. I never met my grandfather. He died around the time I was born. Both my grandfathers, actually, I never met. They died around the time I was born. Sadly, my parents were each of my parents were very sad about losing their fathers that I never met. But I'm carrying the torch of being a creative freelance person. I am, okay, I'll sit back down. I'm going to wrap up this video. I just wanted to do a short video. I'm trying to grow my channel. So if you would like to subscribe to the GoddessKRING YouTube channel, I'm just going to update you. We're working on a full-length documentary film about the GoddessKRING, which was my TV show, Public Access Seattle, performance art. I'm working with music with Dave Flowers. I am continuing to experiment. I'm continuing to try to love and accept myself as a chaotic non-perfectionistic, improvisational, creative person. I do poetry, music, video, painting. My smartphone has a design of mine. There's a Kring design. Kring design on the smartphone. So I just wanted to say hello. And again, it's December 18th, 2023. This is Shannon Kringen, Goddess Kring. I would love to. I recently rediscovered a video of when I went to Manchester and Liverpool, England to visit my friend Neil, who lives in St. Helens near Liverpool. And our journalist friend, Mark, I don't know how to say his last name, but he has, maybe I'll link it down there. There's a beautiful video that he produced that's very journalistic of me visiting. And I'm just grateful. The point of this video is not for Shannon Kringen to just pontificate about herself and sort of brag, but just to acknowledge that I'm very grateful, because at the time in 2015, I was in England. I was running around taking pictures, and Mark filmed in a more documentary style. And it inspires me because I want to make a documentary, me and my friends. I can't do it all by myself because I need collaborative input. I want to interview fans of my show. If whoever's watching, a lot of people have never heard of my show. I know that, which is partly why I want to do a Goddess Kring documentary, to tell my story, to tell the story of Goddess Kring, for people who don't know about it. It's an interesting story of a woman who was very shy and crippled by anxiety and insecurity, and yet had this really strong burning desire to connect with an audience and share on camera with people. And I became an art model. I did all kinds of experimental things, and I videotaped it for 15 years. And so the guy who interviewed, or who made a little it's a 5-minute video about me being in Manchester, and there's just bits and pieces of us at a museum, me talking about full figure statues, and how, some people are afraid of looking at art with people that aren't wearing any clothing, and there's torsos and stuff, and it's beautiful classical art. I model for artists, and so I'm used to that whole thing, which is another reason why, and I'm kind of a naturist. Part of why I did my show without wearing any clothes was because I was so used to being an art model. It just felt normal to me to have a natural torso, and express myself as a natural human being. And part of being a naturist and a figure model, those are two different things. When you're a figure model, it's all about the artistic drawing and painting of the figure. When you're a naturist, it's more just about being out in nature with no clothing on and just being a natural human and not trying to look pretty or whatever. It's just being natural in your natural habitat, just like other animals out in the forest are not wearing any clothing. Of course, they have fur, but whatever. Humans are complicated. So, and we also don't have any fur, so we get cold, so we need to wear clothes. So I lost my train of thought, but photojournalism, the idea of telling a story of Goddess Kring, the story of Goddess Kring. We're doing music about it. We're trying to make a full-length doc. We are in the process of archiving over 700 videos that I have. Honestly, some of them are a little bit moldy. So we have to be literally moldy. So we have to be very careful, because I stored them in boxes for like 15 or 20 years, however many years it's been. I did my show from 96 to about 2010 or 11. So 95, 96 to about 2010 or 11, I have over 700 videos, and they're 28 minutes each episode. So we're archiving as many of those as we can. And then my friend and I are looking through, my friend Nibby Nebulous, we're looking through, that's not his real name, that's his nickname, but that's what he likes to go by. He's a computer programmer guy that I've known for many years, and he's very appreciative of my expression. And so we're looking through it, trying to figure out what's the story of Goddess Kring. What is the interesting, compelling story that we can tell in a full-length documentary film? We want to cut old clips, new clips of my current life with old clips from my show, and interview people. So if you have seen my show and you want to be interviewed on camera about it, even if you have some constructive criticism, you don't have to just gush about how good it was. You can say you thought it was weird or whatever, because it was weird. It is weird. I'm bit strange. I have to say I'm a little bit strange, but I can only be myself. I'm not trying to be strange. I'm just being myself. Although my show, I think I exaggerated parts of myself. Like people, like I don't walk around going, "Ooh, goddess Kring." Ooh. That's not how I actually, when I am walking around in public, unless I'm performing in a parade or something, I don't go around going, "Ooh." But then again, when I play my Tom Petty and Tori Amos and Neil Young in my car, I dance around and sing to the music in my car, and I do kind of act like Goddess Kring because I am Goddess Kring. But um, so we're doing a documentary. So it'll be a documentary. It'll be about my real life and my dreams, my fantasies. I don't know, a combination of reality and my fantasy, and interview people who liked what I did or watched what I did, whether they liked it or thought it was weird, whatever. Interesting, like compelling comments, commentary, the pros and cons of doing what I did. I think that I think I was very brave to do what I did, but at the same time, I feel like my boundaries were kind of um, you could say, some people would say it was inappropriate, the way I would share about my personal problems, or not wear any clothing and be on public television. I guess that was a little daring of me, a little bold of me, pushing people's buttons a bit, questioning the norm, questioning the rules of society. I've had people about 10 years younger than me say that I helped them through their teen years because I was 26 when they were 16. When I did my show, I was in my 20s, and I talked about all kinds of things. I've had women come up to me and say they appreciated my show because it helped them feel better about accepting their body, whether you're tall or short or overweight or underweight or curvy or skinny or whatever terms you want to use, whatever your body looks like, whatever age you are. I also, one time on a bus, had an older lady that was probably in her 80s say, "I really enjoy your program on television." She said, "I don't always understand where you're coming from," but she said, "I always appreciate," as she said in her cute voice, "I appreciate your program on television." And she said she appreciated my unique style. And she didn't even fully understand where I was coming from, but she appreciated it. And I've also had policemen and firefighters tell me they liked my show, that they appreciated it. And the fire station people said that, they were, on the late night, because sometimes my show was on at 10 p.m., sometimes at 1 a.m. And I've had firefighters tell me that um, when they were just sitting around the fire station waiting for, maybe there's going to be a fire, maybe not, just hanging out, being waiting to be a firefighter, they enjoyed my program. And so it seems like I provided a service for people who were just bored and wanted something new and different. People channel surfing or like, what is this? And they were looking at my show, trying to figure out what I was going to say next. I would talk about personal problems. I talked about philosophy. I did poetry. I danced around with body paint or with nothing at all. Sometimes I would actually wear something, a bodysuit, or wear interesting, strange clothing, thrift store clothing, or whatever. And then I did a show called Fertilizer at the TV studio, which was more experimental. So I'm now in the process of archiving over 700 videos with my friend, and we're going through some of the videos and trying to figure out what the pattern is and what the story we can tell, the current life of me and the past life, and the epic journey of Goddess Kring. What would that be? So I'm trying to figure this out. Um, I know it's a little weird to even do a video about it. Like, why am I doing this video? I'm talking to you, whoever you are listening. I'm just sharing where I'm at right now. I'm really grateful for all of the opportunities, and I think I'm forgetting. I did the poetry reading at Fantagraphics recently, the bookstore. I auctioned some paintings off at the Burien Gala, Vision Gala 2023. I was interviewed for the Everett Herald, and I think I'm forgetting something, but I've had these like kind of amazing opportunities. And when I was doing my Goddess Kring show, I had all these opportunities to go to Europe, and I met my friend near Liverpool. We went to Edinburgh, Scotland together. I've been to Australia and Mexico. I've been to Lenox, Massachusetts for the Naturist Gathering. I've been to Loxahatchee, Florida for the Naturist Gathering. I've been all over. I've had all these interesting, I was in Pisa, Italy. I was in like Italy and Europe for 5 or 6 weeks once in 2005 and I did videos about that. And I was just interesting in adventure. Life can be a real adventure if you're open to improvisational opportunities and synchronicities. And so now that it's 2023, I'm re-examining some of this interesting stuff. I think in April of 2024, my friend Dave Flowers and I are probably going to, or Nibby Nebulous and I are going to go to Houston, Texas for the Art Car Parade and Festival in Houston. And we might visit my friend in Nashville, Tennessee on the way back. I would love to see the Johnny Cash Museum and the Grand Ole Opry and all that jazz. So thanks for listening. This is Shannon Kringen, GoddessKRING, signing off for now. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you want. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. I've had my YouTube channel, I think, since 2005, and I only have about, what do I have, like a little over 1,000 subscribers. I'm not super popular, but whatever. I'm just going to do my thing, and I can't force people to join. But if you want to spread the word about my videos, if you get something out of these, feel free. But then at the same time, I want to do what I love. I also want to liberate myself from feeling like I have to label whether I'm a failure or a success. You could say that I only have 1,000 subscribers, or I have 1,099 subscribers on YouTube right now as of December 18th, 2023. Say I'm a failure because I only have that many, or I'm a success because I have, however many. So it's kind of like, if you're doing what you love, like I'm able to support myself with all my freelance jobs, and I don't have a fancy lifestyle or anything, but I'm able to support myself by being a full-time, like I've been a full-time creative freelance person since 1997. And I'm really grateful and proud of that. I work hard and I somehow support myself in all these different creative ways with about 4 different kinds of jobs. And, in the education with art and medicine, medical and art education, and with taking care of animals, and with from time to time I've sold some of my art, but I haven't really made a lot of money with my art, but I mostly just do my art for free and share it everywhere. So I'm really grateful that I can make a living. But at the same time, what I was going to say was I want to liberate myself from feeling like I have to, like when I say I want to be famous, I know that sounds like really stupid, kind of shallow. But when I say I want to be famous, I don't really mean famous for the sake of being famous. But what I mean by fame is I want to create something and have it be appreciated by other people and have a support from the universe. I want to create videos, music, poetry, visual art, video monologues like I'm doing right now, and have them be appreciated by other people and know, oh, that's Shannon Kringen. She does monologues and I find them inspiring. Like my fantasy would be for, people have told me that they find me inspiring. If I inspire people, that makes me happy. So when I say I want to be famous, all I really mean by that, and maybe I should stop saying famous because it sounds silly, but I want to connect with an audience. I want to create something, express myself, and have it be useful to others. Have it create a connection, a bridge between me and others. Because I am on the autism spectrum, I am kind of in my own world. I feel kind of like I don't always know where I fit in the world. That's why I love art modeling, because I could just sit there, stare off into space, literally. As long as I hold still and I look aesthetically pleasing, I can stare off into space and people draw and I earn money. And it is kind of physically painful. Some poses are painful and it is hard to hold still for that long sometimes, but I generally love it. So to earn money and feel like I'm part of a group, because I've always felt like left out and excluded. When I'm in group situations, I usually feel left out or excluded, or like I'm the weirdo and nobody likes me or nobody gets me, or I don't know how to enjoy other people. I want to give and receive in a joyful way. It's socially with people. And when I model, I feel like, oh, I'm part of the group. I belong. I am appreciated in the group. So when I did my show, public access TV show, GoddessKRING, I wanted to connect with the community. I wanted to feel part of the community and appreciated as contributing to the community. So when I say I want to be famous, I just mean that I want to communicate and connect and feel like I'm part of the community and I'm serving a purpose. I'm using my skills to serve a purpose. Like when I take care of animals as a pet sitter, I'm happy because I really love animals, dogs and cats. I love animals. I would happily take care of people's goats. If I meet somebody that I took care of chickens a few times, I love taking care of chickens. I love animals. So I had goats in junior high, and my mom and I were friends with a woman who had a bunch of goats. She had like sort of a goat farm, and that was really fun. So I love goats and chickens and dogs and cats. And if somebody had a tarantula, I would take care of their tarantula. Like I love animals. I would take care of snakes. I'm not afraid of snakes. I would take care of somebody's bees, snakes, geckos, lizards, what is it, hamsters, ferrets. I've never taken care of a hamster or a ferret or a rat. I would take care of anyone's pet. So I love taking care of pets. It gives me a sense of purpose. I love animals. And I'm really good at being really gentle with animals who need, like I recently took care of a cat that had almost no teeth. She had to have her teeth removed for a gum issue, and she needs to be hand fed. And I recently did that, and it gave me a sense of purpose. When I art model, I have a sense of purpose. My YouTube channel hopefully can be useful to others in some kind of inspirational way. I guess this is sort of a video diary of Shannon Kringen. This is the video diary of Shannon Kringen, GoddessKRING. When I hear music, I see shapes, which is called synesthesia. So I partly met Dave Flowers because both he and I, he's a musician. We see shapes when we hear music. Like sounds are texture for me. So synesthesia is some interesting trait that we share. We bonded because of that, and also a love for animals. My cat that passed away, my kitty Kisun, the orange fluffy beautiful kitty Kisun, which I miss so much. He passed away on what was it, August 8th, 2022, 8/8/22, and now I'm without a pet, but I am open and available and have the freedom to take care of other people's pets, and that's what I'm doing. So yeah, so this is GoddessKRING signing off for now, and yeah, just follow your dreams. And so if you want to subscribe to my channel, feel free, spread the word. Every time I think I'm going to do a short video, I do a long video. But I did do a piano video today that's only like 2 minutes. I'm trying to do like, I guess short videos are anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes. And if I go on longer than that, it's a long video. So thank you for watching my long video. GoddessKRING, Shannon Kringen. Bada boo, bada bing, stinging rings the kring. Okay, so ocean beam, come clean, come clean. Manifesting dreams, black fire, feather rain, straining the stream of consciousness again. Volcano ash erupting green, enchanted fingers filter rain. So there's some of my poetry for you. Bye for now. Have a good day. Thanks for tuning in to GoddessKRING, Shannon Kringen. Improv monologue. Yay. Okay, here.